Hey spooksters, welcome to my spooky studio. Returned! Do you remember when it was like a month and a half ago and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be back next week? I wasn't back next week. But here I am again, and for those of you who are just popping in and you're like, the frick is this video that I popped on with this really strange rambling person? I'm Deandra, and this is my weekly live, although I am considering changing it to just kind of like a free talk video, but it's an easy way to just kind of get into things without having to edit, without having to do all the jokes or the sound effects, just lay it all out there. And so thank you for joining me. I'm kind of going through a lot of different items in my collection to talk about them because as you can see, I have a little bit of a collection and people have always asked me about it. So I thought, well, this would be a great way to kind of take them through it. So last time on my spooky studio, I talked about the Never Sleep Again books, which are the companion books to Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy, the documentary all about A Nightmare on Elm Street, the horror franchise. And the books specifically focus on the first movie and the making of it. There's the hardcover book, which was limited edition to only the people who backed the project when it was raising funds. And then the soft cover paperback version, which is available now to pretty much anybody. But the paperback version is smaller. It's right here. It is in black and white pretty much. Some different pictures and some different information in this than in the hardcover book, which is very hard to come by. But I have it and I love it very much. But as I said, this is the soft paperback version and there's different information in it, and I'm going to get into a little bit of that nugget right now. So for those of you who don't know, how I got into horror is because of Nancy Thompson. And I really, really love Nancy. I started cosplaying as her because I was her for Halloween and nobody else was Nancy, and I love to kind of create these little pictures of myself with not a selfie camera, just your regular camera from the mid-2000s, you know what I'm talking about. And I would just create these cosplay images of Nancy that were my interpretation. And so when that really got picked up, because nobody else was doing it, which is a product of the times, you know, I kind of got really connected to a lot of people very quickly because nobody else was doing it. And that's just one of the advantages of being one of the first people, especially when the internet was coming around. But in 2000, and I pretty much did her pajamas until about, I think it was 2012. I really wanted to do a different version of Nancy. I started to do different versions, but this was one that I really wanted to do, and that's Nancy and her booby traps, because Nancy's booby trap scene in the first film is my favorite of all the Nancy scenes. I mean, it just captures her so well, her determination, her perseverance, her resourcefulness, the fact that she's using a freaking personnel army manual to create this, to like go after the killer. She's not just being like, I'm gonna kick his butt and just, I've got this weapon. No, she like planned it out. What a badass. Look out, Kevin from Home Alone. She did it first. So I was like, it would be really, really cool if I could find the Booby Trap book, because that would complete this whole look as if I had that. So I had her sledgehammer, and oh no, I didn't have her sledgehammer because it wasn't made for me then yet. Yeah. But I had a light bulb and I had a screwdriver, so I had that, and then I was like, I really, really want to do this book. And I remember Wes saying that he had found an old army manual and pulled from it to create the Booby Trap book. So what you see as the Booby Trap book in the movie is in fact not the real book. What's inside is the real book, but what's on the outside was made from what he said was in the book. So the pictures were in the book, and the booby traps that Nancy created were out of the book. And so I went looking for this book. I'd never seen anybody find this book. And I was browsing around online on the internet, I don't even know where, and I came across this generic booby trap book that looked, on the outside it had that manila cover like her booby trap book, and it looked about what would be the size. And I didn't know what was inside, but it had a preview option to look at a couple of pages. And I said, well, hopefully I see something that sparks, you know, familiarity. And I'm looking through, and there's the last page, and there it was. One of the pictures that is definitely, I mean, the defining central picture on Nancy's Boobytrap book of the town that kind of has the smoke coming out of it. I saw it and I was like, this is it. This is the freaking book. So I bought the book. I think I might have bought one copy. I bought one copy. I should have bought more. And I handed it off to my friend James Howard, who was very crafty. And I picked the pictures out of the book. I showed him what needed to be on the book, and he matched the text to it. And he's, by the way, the one who also made my tongue foam. And he recreated the cover of the Boobytrap book. Hey, Cinecrept, how you doing? And so this is that cover. This is the Boobytrap book cover, and there's a chance you've probably seen it now because several people have been reproducing it. You could see that I got it signed by Heather. It says, Deandra, we're into survival, which is, of course, the line when she has this book on the bridge with Glenn. You can see there's no book inside. That is because I had him he had a couple different variations of this cover that he created. I think he kept one. He replaced the original cover on the book, so I have it somewhere. I think it's in my blue bin with like a bunch of my different stuff. I had this one, and then I gave one to my friend Anthony. And so this was the picture that I saw on the inside. I got the book and eventually found this one. And then he did his best to recreate the text. I think he did a pretty good job. What I always thought was so funny is that personnel, how you see it here, that's how it's spelled in the movie, but it's actually misspelled as 2 N's, which I always thought was super funny. But I gave this, I gave the original version, and I kind of wish I didn't. I wish I had given her a cover, but I was like super like, oh my God, Heather's gonna love this at the time, and she did. And I handed this to her. I handed her the book. And I said, look what we found. I found the book and recreated it, and here it is. And she started looking through the book, and she's like, this is it. I remember scrolling through the book and scrolling through the pages while we were filming. This is it. And so I gave her a reproduced copy of the Boobytraps book. And when Tommy was revisiting, or rather when the team was revisiting the Never Sleep Again book, he had contacted me. And he was like, hey, Deandra, do you know where you like got the book? Do you remember what the book looked like? Like, could you tell me some details about the book? And I was like, sure, blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Well, Tommy actually ended up, there it is. That's the original cover. I'm not sure if it's probably reflected for you guys, but that is the original cover of what the book looks like. And of course, that's the reproduced version with everything inside the book. And underneath it says, the survival manual left, Glenn sees Nancy reading, prompted her to reveal that she is into survival. Little does she know how important the information is in its pages, or in its pages will become. I can read, I promise. Many of the traps seen in the film were pulled from a real Department of Army field manual above, FM 531 booby traps. So if you're looking to recreate the book, this is what you want to find. Like I said, FM 531 booby traps. So the information from my discovery to cosplay Nancy to finding the book officially made it into the Never Sleep Again book. This is my contribution to the finds of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Is this Boobytrap book. Of course, you might be like, Deandra, are you credited for finding it? And no, I'm not. But that was me. And that is my fun little story about finding the frickin' Boobytraps book and then it making into this paperback updated version. And now, like I said, people recreate it all the time. And I'm probably going to go find it and just recreate it again and then have it. And then just be like, this is mine! Or I'll be like, hey, Heather, can you give it back to me, please? She probably will forget. So I may never get it back again. I'll just make my own. That one is a special, first of its kind reproduction. And I think that there's like a couple pictures that I have from like 2013, really bad quality of that book. I'll have to find them. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this little story of my little tidbit of the Boobytrap's book and finding that out. Thank you guys so much for watching and for thinking that it's cool. I really appreciate that. Maybe you can see my shirt. This is another thing. It says, I can't talk right now. I'm doing scary movie shit. Can't talk right now. I'm doing scary movie shit. Which is actually it. Because if somebody was to call me right now, they'd be like, can we talk? And I'd be like, no. Oops, I grabbed the table. I'm doing scary movie shit. So, end of story. If there's something back here that you guys want me to talk about, you know, let me know. Oh, there could be a lot. There's actually a couple things coming up. So Jason is wrapping up a video that we filmed a little while ago. And it's dope. It looks cool. It's actually a cosplay video of me. And it's dope. Which is going to lead into another video, which is going to lead into another video that I thought is going to be super fun. So expect more content. TV guide with Freddie. Well, you know what? I can actually talk about that right now. I got this when Bloody Disgusting was releasing Freddy's Nightmares on Screenbox. They sent me a little gift package with a couple different things in it, including that Freddy right here. This guy right here. He's like one of those muscle toys from the 80s of like wrestlers, you know those? He was in there. And this was another one of the pieces in there. And it's just, it's actually just a breakdown of the different Freddy's Nightmares episodes inside. So, let's see. Can you read that? And then on the back, this is what it says. So it's not like a vintage, real TV guide, but it says October 8th through the 14th of 1988. So, yeah. Sorry. Hopefully that's still interesting to you guys, though. But, yeah, if there's anything else, let me know. I'll try to pick something out. Maybe by next week I'll be able to do a little something. Do you guys like this being live, or do you want it to be a burger? I got brain farts. Do you want it to be live, or do you want me to like create a video and then edit it? Which do you enjoy more? Do you just like watching me ramble? Is that interesting to you? Let me know, because I'm just curious. But anywho, that's it for this episode of my spooky studio. Okay, glad you guys like live. Thanks so much. And I will I'll see you guys next week. Oh, you know what? If you like live videos, you know, if there's something else that you think would be cool live, or if you just generally enjoy lives, let me know. I'll do more of them. But I'll see you guys around. Hope you had a great holiday. If you celebrate, if you don't, hope you're just doing really well and have seen some great horror movies lately, or something that you can enjoy. Hope you enjoyed Wednesday. I know I did. Jenna Ortega did a great job, and Catherine Zeta-Jones. I'm a little torn on it, but she reminds me a lot of like the older versions of Morticia and like some of the cartoon versions, and I just love Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was one of my early childhood obsessions. She's actually the first internet argument I got into was on one of her boards, and my nickname was CZJ1Fan. So that's me way back in the day. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm gonna really, I swear to God, try to do more of these. Planning on a Spooky Sips coming out this Saturday, so I will see you guys around. Thanks for watching. Go see some good horror movies, and we'll talk soon.